Hello, hello, hello. This is Patricia again, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States and specifically in Alaska. And we are going to look at the Amaryllis Abloom. This is, I think, our third, maybe, fourth, maybe, I don't remember, video. But this one is found on page 78 in the mini catalog that goes through December 2021. It is one of the two sets that are for hosting a show. Those are your part of your reward for hosting a show. And this is the annual catalog that will go through April 2022. So we are going to start with a gorgeous grape card base. And this is half, whoops. That one has to go in there this way. That is half of an 8.5 by 11 cut at 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And this is the cardstock that goes in it because, you know, unless you write with a black Sharpie or something, you're really not going to be able to write very legibly on that purple. Love the purple, that gorgeous grape. But it doesn't do well for writing on. And so we're going to open it up and we're going to put an insert in here that is 4 by 5 1/4. So we will set that aside because we don't want to forget to stamp on it. And then this is our front layer that's going to layer on top of our gorgeous grape. And it is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then we've got a strip. Now I'll tell you this, I use these strips when I cut them off of a paper like or a large piece of cardstock, like when I cut this piece here. I just put those in a cup or something sitting right on my crafting desk, and then they're there available for me to use whenever I need those strips. So it makes it very nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, this is the Amaryllis Abloom, and we're going to use this crosshatch pattern, and we're going to use this splotch pattern on top of each other. And what we're going to do is take the splotch, or not the splotch, the crosshatch pattern. Actually, I called this splotch, I usually call it dottage, D-O-T-T-A-G-E. I don't know why, I just like that word. And we are not even going to line these up at all. We're just going to stamp these on there. And just kind of get them on. There we go. And I'm going to do it around the edges because I'm going to put something in my paper. Oops, can you see me? I hope you can. In the middle. So these are just going to kind of go on here. And I'm not even really caring. You see how that got a little light? I'm not really even caring if I do that. So, because you're probably not going to notice it. I'm going to close that up. And then I'm going to take my Stazon. Whoopsie. Oh, this was my new one. That'll be fun. So one of the things I will tell you about Stazon is it does have this plastic piece that comes in here like this, and it even says it. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. Don't know if that helps, but it says protective inner cover, do not discard. So do not discard that. But what you can do is take, and I find you sort of have to, I'm going to put it on the outside, and you sort of have to stack these up. So I'm going to layer that, take the cover off, the, protective part of the dimensional, and put that on there. And then when I put this on here and put my lid back on, there we go. Then it stays there, and if I give it a good push, hopefully that will stay in there. There we go. If not, you can always put a little extra glue on it. All right, and I'm going to take my dottage now, and I'm just going to go around to sort of make this look even more grungy, if you will. And I'm just kind of, I like to use the Stazon ink when I want a good deep intense black. Okay, so that's why I'm using this one. And I'm just going to kind of go in here, and there's nothing specific about it. I'm just sort of getting it in there, and it makes it look a little grungier. Now, if you get it really a lot of it over here, that means you have to get a lot of it over there. So, and because this is a brand new stamp pad, there's a lot of juice in here. Okay, then take my card, put it on. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so then I'm going to put my lid on, put that away. Now, one thing I will tell you about your Stazon is you do want to clean that off pretty much right away. And so I've got this, where's the actual, here we go, Stazon cleaner. I don't want to, oh, I just got both of these, so I'm going to stamp off, get as much of the ink off of that as I can, and then I'm going to put some of the Stazon here, and it clumps up a little bit, and I'm going to wash that off here in a moment. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and, there we go. I'm wiping it up. Whoops, it came off in my, so I'm going to get a little more Stazon, a cleaner on there, and I'm just going to rub that a little bit more. Now, it's going to stain it, but that's okay. Lots of your inks, your stamps will get stained. It does not affect them, but you do not want to put the Stazon ink. You don't want to put that stamp away with the Stazon ink still on it. You want to clean it off. All right, then I am going to take my, oh, this is the one that goes on the inside. Boy, am I glad I discovered that before I stamped it. I am going to take my card that goes on the front. I'm going to stamp it up in Stazon ink. Now, the reason I'm using Stazon ink here, normally I wouldn't, but I'm going to use my pencils. And so I'm going to stamp that. Let that ink transfer. Oh, shoot. We're going to have to turn it over. That's what happens when you drop it. So we're going to try again. There we go. Okay. And then, Varanas. Then I can clean that Stazon off of there. Give it a good clean. There we go. And do that here in just a minute. So when I have this then ready to go, what I'm using is the watercolor pencils, and this is assortment 2, and in this assortment 2 I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, Garden Green, and those are going to be for my leaves, Gorgeous Grape, and Crushed Curry. All 4 of these then come out of that stamp set 2. And then I'm also going to use my blender pen. So I'm letting this dry. I can even sort of, you know, give it a good flutter. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to pull out my, excuse me, my chamois and go ahead and clean. There we go. See how it's still, even though I've cleaned it on my chamois, there's nothing in that chamois but water, by the way. It's still going to color it. It's not ruining the stamp. That's no big deal. That purple is, that Gorgeous Grape, is a pretty intense color. And so, That's the reason. And those reds tend to stain, or pinks tend to stain pretty heavily. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to start with my crushed curry, and I'm just going to lay down some color. And I'm putting this toward the center of my flower, and I'm just laying down some color. If I don't get enough, I can always add more. And then what I'm going to do is take my blender pen and spread that out. See how I had just barely even put down some lines. Okay, so I'm just spreading that around now from the center of my flower to give it that look of a bloom. Okay, there we go. I like it. And then wipe that off. Just wipe it on your sheet, you know. Keep working at it. Then I'm going to take my purple, my gorgeous grape, which is the same color as my flower, as my base piece, and around the edges of the flower. I'm not even going to meet them here yet. I'm going to put some of that gorgeous grape, okay, just around the edges. And you'll see I went outside the line there. No big deal. You know, I'm a kindergarten teacher and kindergarten and preschool. And I do talk to the kids about, you know, sometimes you go outside the line. It's no big deal. Yes, we want to strive for perfection, but it's no big deal if we don't get there. Yeah, I know? So, don't be any harder on yourself than you would be on a kindergartner. Okay, then I can use the same end, just make sure I've got all the color out, and I'm going to drag that toward my crushed curry. Fill in any spots that I missed. Just like that. And this takes literally like a minute to do all of this for the whole flower. Okay, and almost done. Well, not done because we still have to do our, doesn't that look great? And then wipe it off, get all the purple out of it. Okay, I could have gone to the other end, and by the way, even though that has a little bit of a pink on there, it is not, oh, I started to use a stamp. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my two greens, and I am going to, this is the garden green, yep, garden green, and just going to give that some color and some color, and we'll even do that one. Okay, and then pull out our what's this thing called? Blender pen. And notice I hadn't even put any color down here, and yet as I pull it down from up here, I am able to continue coloring right there. Picks up that green and shares it. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take my is it Granny Apple? Yep, Granny Apple. I'm going to start here and do the underside of that leaf. And down here. And make sure, there we go, all is well. To be quite honest, this probably should have been the Granny Apple, but we're not going to worry about it. There we go. Perfect. Nicely done. I'm ready for dinner. Hold on. There we go. We're going to add that. And we need to put our sentiment, and we're going to use So Proud of You. Pull that out. And of course, I don't have my block over here, but that's okay. We are going to put it on with Gorgeous Grape, just because that's what I like. Do you ever do those just because you like it, right? Okay. So proud of you. Yay! It worked. Close that up so I don't get my fingers in it, because I already noticed I have black. And there we go. My sister just came to get me for dinner, so I'm going to have to run, but you see. Now, you could either mount this on dimensionals, or you could mount your sentiment on dimensionals, but there you go. Too awesome, right? All right, have a good one. Thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Down below, subscribe if you have not already done that. Ring the bell so you can get notifications, and I always love comments. Thank you very much. Have a good one.